Hey, I'm Dana with Pool Warehouse, and today we are going to show you how to do A/B measurements on a rectangle pool with existing anchor points so you can have a replacement safety cover for your pool. So we understand that doing A/B measurements sounds scary, and it sounds hard, and it sounds difficult. We want to kind of dismiss that myth for you and make this as easy as possible. So we're gonna get started with this, right? The first thing that we're gonna wanna do is set up to take our A/B measurements. It's really not that difficult. So there's a few factors that we want to keep in mind as we're approaching this. One is, what are we measuring? We know we have to measure the pool. We know we have to measure the existing anchor points. And in some cases, if we have obstructions, planters, waterfalls, we're gonna wanna take those into account as well. Now, what do we have to do to set this up? So the first thing is we have to set up our A/B line. We've already done a little bit of work for you. On this side, we have our B point. On this side, we have our A point. Those form a straight line. So if you imagine a straight line running through both of those, that's gonna be a great visual for you, because that line cannot intersect anything that needs to be measured. Not your anchor points, obstructions, the pool, nothing. And we also place this line specifically so that way we had a good line of sight to all the places that need to be measured. Now let me get into some of those details. You're gonna wanna make sure that AB line is at least 6 feet away from anything that has to be measured. So the closest thing that needs to be measured to this line, you wanna be a minimum 6 feet away from that. Now, how long does this line need to be? Typically, you're gonna want your AB line 20 to 25 feet long. This is going to give us your most accurate data, so that way when we get this to the engineers, they know exactly what this cover looks like by the measurements that we are going to provide them. So once you have that set up, we can get into how to measure for AB points. Now that we have everything set up, we are ready to measure the pool and the anchor points. Bailey's going to be helping me do this. It really is a two-person project. It does make the day go a lot easier. We have our B point set up over here, our A point set up over here. It's 20 feet long. We are a minimum 6 feet away from anything that needs to be measured. We are ready to measure this pool. Now, you can start anywhere you want. What I would recommend doing is start with your pool first and list all those ABs separately. And then we're gonna go back and do the anchor points, and we're gonna list those ABs separately. That way, when we're turning in these forms, it makes it really easy for your dealer to kind of decipher that information. Know, oh, this is my pool, these are my anchor points. Just makes that a really easy process. Now we're going to start on this corner right here. Like I said, you can start anywhere you want. It really doesn't matter, because we're gonna label it anyways. We've got some bright green tape. You can use masking tape, painter's tape, just something that's gonna stick well, but you're gonna wanna label these points. That way, if you need to reference it, if the manufacturer has any questions, it's gonna make that process really easy. So we're just gonna put a mark down right here on this corner, and I'm just gonna write the number 1, as this is gonna be our first AB measurement. Now, we started on the corner just because we wanna show you typically how this works. This particular one is a 2-foot radius. We're going to do 3 AB measurements. We're gonna do one at the start of the corner, we're gonna do one right at the center, and we're gonna do one at the end. That way we know when we turn these in, they're gonna know exactly the shape of this pool, which is what they're basing those points off of to make your replacement cover. One of the other things that's gonna be really important is accuracy in measurements. If it's 15.5, don't write down 15 or round up to 16. We really wanna know what those measurements are. So if you're measuring 15.5 inches or whatever that measurement is, please make sure it's accurate. So you're gonna go from the center of your AB point right to number 1. So Bailey, if you will help me with this one, we will start. And pull that tight and go right to the center of that point. And what is our measurement? All right, so our first is 8 foot 4 inches. So what we're going to do is we're going to write 8 feet 4 for number 1, 8 measurement. Now here's the great part, is Bailey's gonna go right over to the B point, and we're going to measure right back to our first point right here. And if you'll pull that tight, Bailey. So we have 8 foot 4 for our A measurement, and then we have 13 feet 6 for our B measurement. Now, you're going to write that right on the measurement form. You'll see point number 1, there's an A spot and a B spot. Our first A spot for this pool is 8 feet 4. Our B measurement is 13 feet 6. And what we're going to do is we're going to do those same measurements all the way around this pool. And one of the things I do want to mention is typically when you're doing A-B measurements on a kit like this, a lot of times you can go every 2 feet. On a rectangle, we don't necessarily have to do that because we have a very straight line all the way down. You do not have to go every 2 feet. Now, if you have a free-form pool, like a lazy L, a kidney shape, something that is not a rectangle, you are going to want to do A-B measurements every 2 feet on that pool because we have to be able to capture those curves to know how to make you guys a cover. That's gonna be really important, but on this rectangle, we're not having to go every 2 feet. Like I said, we're gonna do one at the beginning of the radius, center of the radius, the end of the radius, and then we're gonna go all the way down and measure the very end of this straight line. So we're gonna continue to do that and start doing these A-B measurements for this kit. Now that Bailey and I have done a couple corners of this pool, we've gone down one of the long sides, we're ready to capture the A-B measurements for the step. This is around a 4x8 center end step on this pool. It's very common, very standard. But it's important that we know where the step is in relation to the pool. In order to do that, we're gonna do some more A-B measurements. We're gonna start on this corner, take an A-B measurement. We're gonna move to this back corner, another A-B, opposing back corner, A-B measurement. To this last front corner, one more A-B measurement. It's important that we know where this is. Once we're done with that, we're gonna continue our way around the rest of the pool. So we're making our way down this pool and we've run into this ladder. Now, fortunately for us, this is a removable ladder, so we really don't need to do a whole lot. But in the event that this ladder were to be non-removable, or maybe there's a planter here, a waterfall, a diving board, some type of obstruction, we're gonna need to know where that's at. So we have to take an A-B measurement. In this case, on a ladder, we would take one down here next to this side of the handrail, another one over here on this side of the handrail. You can mark that under obstructions with the A-B measurements. That way we know, hey, this is an obstruction. Here are the A-B points for that. That way we know exactly where it's at and we can make you a cover correctly. So we just finished up doing the A-B measurements all the way around the pool and we are ready to start the anchor points. Now we're gonna list those anchor points separately, but we are going to be using the same A-B line. That is really important. Any A-B measurements that you do need to be taken from the same A-B line. We're going to start right here. We're gonna make our way down this pool the same way that we did measuring the pool and capture every single anchor point with an A-B measurement, and we should be finished up. Bailey and I have just finished capturing all of the A-B measurements for this pool and the anchor points. We started with the pool, listed those out, did the anchor points after that, listed those out as well, and now we are ready to submit our measurement form so we can have a cover made. Now, once you get your measurement form completed, please submit that to your rep at Pool Warehouse. We are happy to help. If you have any questions at all, please give us a call. We want to know your questions. We want to walk you through this as best as we can. Don't forget to visit us on social media and on YouTube, and we'll see you in the next video.